Hi, my name is Krishna Patel. I'm a senior management and pre-med major, and I serve as the operations coordinator, and I'm on the program committee for the Ozarks route this year. I heard about Texas 4000 my freshman year at an organization fair. So there was just people tabling and telling me that they were riding their bikes from Austin to Alaska, and I kind of thought they were crazy. But I was still kind of hooked because they said they were doing it for cancer, and that's something that's really close to my heart. And so as I kind of got progressed through college, I heard about friends that were actually taking part in this, and I was like, wow, this is something that real people do, and like it's actually really incredible. And so I wanted to be a part of something like that, and just the mission of Texas 4000 really means a lot to me, and I think it gives me a way to kind of deal with the loss that I've had due to cancer and fight so that no one else has to go through that loss. I ride for three main reasons. The first is my friend Rocky. He was someone that really put everyone before himself. I remember getting texts from him while he was going through an aggressive chemotherapy treatment, and he would just ask me about my life and kind of see how I was doing, when really he was going through so much more than I could ever imagine. And so just having someone like him in my life really showed me that, having someone in my life that was close to my age, that was going through such a difficult time, really affected me personally. And I think when we lost Rocky in 2014, it was very difficult on me, and I think he had so many dreams, and he wanted to become a PA after he finished his treatment, because he wanted to give back to that community that gave him so much when he was going through treatment. So I ride for Rocky and all the other young lives that cancer has kind of cut short. The second reason I ride is for my cousin Rupal. She was diagnosed with gastric cancer, and the way we found out was after during a family reunion. She actually had severe back pain, and so she had to be taken straight from the cruise that we got off of to the hospital. And they found out that she had the cancer, and she only had about 1 month until we had to say goodbye to her. And so, I mean, that was really shocking, and still is kind of difficult even 2 years later for my whole family to deal with, just because it's kind of, we lost someone that was, kind of glue to our family. I lost a role model and a sister. Her two daughters lost a mother, and so many of us just lost kind of this great friend that we had in our family. And so just I ride for Rupal and just other mothers and daughters and wives that have left their family behind, and families that have had to deal with that sort of loss before. And then the third reason I ride is for my uncle. We called him Patel, and he was actually diagnosed with oral cancer, and that was as a result of his chewing tobacco, and he hadn't chewed tobacco in 20 years since he was diagnosed. And so even though he gave it up such a long time ago, he was still at risk for that disease. And so many of the men in my family actually grew up in a community where using tobacco and smoking cigarettes was kind of the cultural norm. And so even today, I kind of live in fear that my dad, who smoked cigarettes starting at the age of 12 until he was 25, he's still kind of at risk, even though he knows better now. And so it's just difficult to kind of deal with that. And I think that spreading that knowledge is something that I really appreciate about Texas 4000. And I think in the South Asian community especially, there's still many low-income communities where people don't know that the risks of tobacco use. And so I ride for that pillar of knowledge and all the men in my family, with the hope that we can spread the knowledge that something that's entirely preventable at its roots shouldn't be something that we live in fear of.